The following is speculative fiction, a story built on real science, real technology, and a question humanity has asked for centuries. None of these events have occurred, but one day, something like them might. 15 billion miles from home, a machine drifts through absolute silence. Voyager 1, the most distant object human hands have ever built. For 48 years, it has traveled on a nuclear heartbeat that began failing in the late 1990s. Its computers are fossils, simpler than a pocket calculator, running code written before the internet existed. By all logic, Voyager should be silent. It should be a ghost. But on December 19th, Voyager didn't just speak, it screamed. At the exact moment a mysterious object swept past Earth, Voyager 1 woke up. It executed commands NASA never sent. It ran software that didn't exist when it launched. The probe we built to explore the stars finally found something, or perhaps, something finally found it. To understand why a dead probe woke up, we need to examine what happened here, on Earth, 6 months earlier. On July 1, 2025, the ATLAS survey telescope in Chile flagged a new anomaly. Automated systems categorized it as a comet, but within 48 hours, every major observatory on the planet had trained its lenses on the same coordinates. They called it 3IATLAS, the third interstellar object ever recorded in human history, and the first that didn't behave like a rock. Like its predecessors, Oumuamua and Borisov, this object wasn't bound to our sun. It moved on a hyperbolic trajectory, a one-way pass through our system. But unlike the others, Atlas wasn't tumbling chaotically through space. It maintained a fixed orientation, stable, deliberate. And then it began to slow down. Dr. Elena Vasquez, lead analyst at the Atacama Observatory, noticed it first. The object was emitting material, but not like a comet. Comet tails form when solar radiation pushes dust and gas away from the sun. This emission trailed behind the object's direction of motion. In orbital mechanics, that configuration means one thing: propulsive deceleration. Something was breaking. As 3I-ATLAS plunged toward the inner solar system, its brightness fluctuated. Not the irregular flickering of a tumbling rock catching sunlight, but rigid digital pulses, patterns, repetition. Vasquez published her findings in a private memo to NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Her conclusion was clinical, cautious, and terrifying. Object displays characteristics inconsistent with natural formation. Recommend immediate tracking prioritization. Within a week, tracking confirmed the object's destination. 3I-ATLAS wasn't aiming for Earth. It was using Earth's gravity well to slingshot toward a specific set of coordinates in deep space. It was aligning itself with Voyager 1. Space is incomprehensibly vast. The odds of an interstellar visitor randomly crossing the exact signal path of a probe launched 5 decades ago are not small. They are effectively zero. Some astronomers argued coincidence. Dr. Marcus Chen at MIT's Haystack Observatory ran probability models and found the alignment statistically meaningless, until he factored in the object's course corrections. Then the numbers inverted. The trajectory wasn't chance. It was navigation. Between December 17th and December 19th, 2025, the trajectory of 3I-ATLAS and the position of Voyager 1 entered what JPL engineers termed a contact corridor. For less than 3 hours, both objects occupied the same narrow cone of space where direct, high-bandwidth radio communication was geometrically optimal. Minimal signal diffusion, minimal interference from solar radiation. Engineers at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory monitored the corridor, expecting nothing. Voyager communicates in slow, patient whispers. Its signals take over 22 hours to reach Earth. Real-time interaction across that distance is physically impossible. So when anomalous data began flowing through NASA's Deep Space Network 3 days before the corridor opened, the assumption was equipment failure. It wasn't. A Cold War-era failsafe buried in the Deep Space Network's architecture triggered for the first time in its 50-year existence. Engineers called it the Watcher Protocol, an automated system designed to isolate and flag any incoming transmission, displaying markers of intelligent, non-human encryption. It had never activated. No one expected it ever would. Senior network analyst David Okonkwo was the first to review the flagged data. His report, later leaked to journalists, described a transmission arriving at Voyager 1's antenna, not from Earth, not from any known source. The signal originated from the void itself, precisely calibrated to Voyager's receiving frequency. NASA labeled it Echo Refraction 67. It didn't contain static. It contained code. This is where the story shifts from astronomy to something closer to horror. Voyager 1 operates on 3 redundant flight computers with a combined memory of 69 kilobytes. For context, the image you're looking at right now contains more data than Voyager can store. The probe processes information on 8-bit architecture and records data on magnetic tape, technology obsolete before most of its engineers retired. The signal designated Echo Refraction 67 arrived encoded in 128-bit encryption strings, dense, recursive, self-referential. Dr. Sarah Lin, a software archaeologist at Stanford who had spent years studying Voyager's original programming, called the transmission a novel trying to fit inside a haiku. The hardware couldn't process it. The memory couldn't hold it. The architecture couldn't interpret it. And yet, telemetry confirmed what should have been impossible. Voyager accepted a handshake. The probe's onboard systems began rewriting themselves. Dormant memory sectors, left accessible by a software vulnerability discovered and patched during the 2024 communication anomaly, flooded with new logic trees. The incoming code didn't overload the system. It compressed itself. It adapted to the limitations it encountered. Skeptics proposed explanations: cosmic ray interference, memory corruption creating the illusion of structure. Dr. Chen published a paper arguing the code was pareidolia, humans seeing patterns in chaos. But then Lin's team decoded the transmission's underlying rhythm. It pulsed every 19.7 minutes, precisely matching the observed rotation period of 3IATLAS. The signal wasn't random noise. It was synchronized. Okonkwo's classified assessment was blunt. This wasn't a malfunction. This was an installation. The intruder wasn't passing by. It was uploading something. And Voyager, the loyal, ancient machine, opened the door. On December 20th, the installation completed. That's when the Watcher protocol escalated from monitoring to full quarantine. Voyager 1's attitude control thrusters fired. For 48 years, this spacecraft has kept its high-gain antenna locked on Earth. That antenna is its only voice, its only lifeline. Without it aimed at home, Voyager cannot hear us, and we cannot hear it. To look away is to sever the connection forever. Mission controller Diane Reyes, a 30-year JPL veteran who had shepherded Voyager through its Neptune encounter, watched the telemetry in real time. In a later interview, she described the moment simply: it felt like watching something die, and then watching it choose to die. Voyager rotated 3 degrees to the galactic north. It turned its back on Earth. The probe aligned its antenna with the path of 3IATLAS. It was no longer reporting to its creators. It was reporting to the visitor. Then came the energy spike. Voyager's radioisotope thermoelectric generator, a decaying plutonium battery producing barely enough power to run a dim light bulb, surged. Output levels exceeded anything the hardware should have been capable of producing. It was as if the probe was gathering every remaining erg of its dying nuclear heart for one final act. Voyager transmitted a single data packet, not to Earth, to the object. NASA intercepted an echo of the transmission, bounced off the heliosphere's diffuse plasma. It wasn't telemetry. It wasn't science data. It was a sequence of 12 tonal chords, arranged in harmonic intervals no algorithm in Voyager's original programming could produce. When analysts ran the audio through a spectral imaging process, the tones formed a picture: the golden record, The message we welded to Voyager's hull in 1977, a map to our solar system, a portrait of our species, a greeting to whoever might find it. The signal Voyager sent wasn't a copy of the record. It was a reply. The pulsar map had been completed, our coordinates acknowledged and confirmed. The hydrogen line, the universal greeting, had been answered with its mathematical inverse. And where we had drawn ourselves, something had drawn itself back. We sent a postcard. Something returned the RSVP. As quickly as it began, the event ended. 3IATLAS shifted its emissions to a frequency beyond our detection range and vanished into the interstellar medium. Tracking stations lost it within 6 hours. It is now moving away from our sun at over 150,000 miles per hour, carrying whatever it learned. Voyager 1 has gone silent. Its transmitter remains active, broadcasting a flat carrier wave, a heartbeat with no message. The code, the intelligence, whatever briefly inhabited the old spacecraft, has departed. NASA has released no official statement. Dr. Vasquez resigned from Atacama 3 weeks after the event. Okonkwo's report remains classified. Reyes, when asked what she believes happened, offered only 4 words. It worked. The record worked. For 50 years, humanity shouted into the void. We launched bottles into an ocean we couldn't fathom, hoping something would find them, read them, understand them. We yearned for contact. We imagined it would be a handshake, a greeting, a beginning. But contact, it seems, is quieter than we imagined. It is not a conversation. It is a transaction. An inquiry received. A location confirmed. A species catalogued. Voyager 1 has completed its mission, the mission we never knew we gave it. Somewhere beyond the heliosphere, an old machine drifts in silence. Its work is done. And somewhere farther still, something carries our address into the dark. We spent half a century asking if we were alone. Now we wait to learn what the answer costs. This was a work of speculative fiction. Voyager 1 continues to transmit from interstellar space. No interstellar objects have displayed anomalous behavior. Yet.